Have you ever felt torn between two sides of yourself? One side wants to push harder, achieve more, never stop. The other side just wants to run away, lie in bed, and escape from everything. Maybe part of you dreams of deep peace, but another part feels trapped in stress, pressure, and endless responsibilities. And quietly you wonder, is there a way to live that doesn't feel like a constant war inside? Welcome to Buddha's Path. Learn and practice Buddhism, a place where we explore the Buddha's teachings in clear, gentle language and learn how to bring them into our everyday lives. Let's begin with an ordinary story. Imagine someone named Sarah. She's a student and also working her first job. When exams or deadlines approach, she goes into what she calls all or nothing mode. For a week, she studies or works late into the night, skips meals, ignores friends, and forces herself to keep going. She tells herself, if I don't give 100% all the time, I'll fail. There's no room for rest. After a few days, she feels exhausted, resentful, and empty. The moment exams finish or the project ends, she swings to the opposite extreme. She spends hours on her phone, binge-watching shows, sleeping in, and avoiding anything that feels like effort. Then, when the next wave of responsibilities comes, she feels guilty and behind, and the cycle begins again. Sarah's pattern might feel familiar. In different forms, many of us live between these two poles, overstriving and collapsing, grasping and rejecting, pushing and running away. The Buddha saw this very clearly in his own life. Before awakening, he tried a life of luxury and pleasure, and then a life of extreme self-denial and harsh practices. In the end, he discovered that neither extreme led to true freedom. From this realization, he taught the Middle Way, a path of balance that supports clear seeing, compassion, and deep peace. But how is this Middle Way connected to Nirvana, the end of suffering? To see the connection, we need to understand both in simple terms. Nirvana, in the Buddha's teaching, is not a fantasy place somewhere far away. It is not a reward in the clouds. Nirvana means the extinguishing of the inner fires of greed, hatred, and delusion, the cooling of the mind that is always grasping or pushing away. It is a profound inner freedom where the heart no longer clings to experience, no longer fights with reality, no longer tries to control everything. The Middle Way is how we walk toward that freedom, step by step, in daily life. It is the art of living between extremes, neither indulging every desire nor violently suppressing our humanity, neither clinging to pleasure nor fearing pain, neither being lost in the world nor running away from it. In simple language, the Middle Way is the practice of not grasping and not rejecting, but meeting each moment with awareness, kindness, and wise response. We can see this connection more clearly if we look at how suffering arises. When something pleasant appears, praise, success, comfort, the mind tends to grab it and say, "This must stay. I need more of this." When something unpleasant appears, criticism, failure, discomfort, the mind tends to push it away and say, "This must not exist. I can't stand this." These are the movements of craving and aversion. They are like two hands constantly pulling at life. Nirvana is the complete letting go of these movements. The Middle Way is learning to loosen our grip, moment by moment. In our modern world, this is incredibly relevant. Think about study and work. One extreme is perfectionism, believing that your value depends entirely on your performance, pushing yourself until your body and mind break. The other extreme is apathy, giving up before you start, telling yourself it doesn't matter, avoiding challenges because you fear failure. Neither extreme leads to a stable, peaceful life. The Middle Way here might look like this. You take your responsibilities seriously, you show up and do your best, but you also respect your body's limits, allow rest, and remember that your worth is not defined by one grade, one job, or one project. In relationships too, we can see extremes. One side is clinging, needing someone to constantly reassure you, fearing abandonment, trying to control how they feel about you. The opposite side is avoidance, shutting down your heart, refusing to be vulnerable, keeping people at a distance to avoid pain. The middle way in relationships means caring deeply without trying to own or control the other person, being honest without cruelty, and accepting that change and impermanence are part of love. Even in our spiritual practice, we can fall into extremes. Sometimes we become rigid, forcing ourselves to meditate a certain way, judging every thought, comparing our practice to others, and feeling either proud or ashamed. Other times, we drift away entirely. I'll practice when I have time. I'm too tired. It doesn't matter. The middle way in practice means steady, gentle discipline, enough structure to grow, enough softness to keep the heart open and kind. So, how do we begin to walk this middle way toward the freedom of nirvana in very simple, practical ways? One powerful step is learning to pause in the middle of our reactions. When you notice yourself swinging toward an extreme, working without rest, avoiding everything, clinging tightly, or pushing something away, take 3 slow, conscious breaths. On the first breath, simply notice what's happening. My mind is grasping, or my mind is resisting. On the second breath, feel your body, your feet on the ground, your chest rising and falling. On the third breath, ask gently, what would a balanced response look like right now? You don't have to find a perfect answer. Just asking the question opens a space. In that space, the grip of craving softens a little, and a wiser choice becomes possible. Another practice is a brief daily reflection on balance. At the end of the day, sit quietly for a few minutes. Ask yourself, where today did I lean into an extreme? Where did I push too hard or give up too quickly? Where did I grasp and where did I reject? Then ask, where today did I touch the middle way, even for a moment? When did I say no to something unhealthy without harshness? When did I rest without falling into total laziness? When did I speak honestly, but kindly? Let yourself feel encouraged by those balanced moments, even if they were small. Each one is a step on the path toward deeper peace. Over time, these simple practices begin to change the flavor of your life. Problems do not magically disappear. You will still have deadlines, conflicts, successes, and losses, but the way you move through them shifts. Instead of being pulled back and forth by extremes, you start to feel like you are standing on more solid ground inside yourself. The middle way does not make life flat, it makes it stable. From that stability, you can taste small moments of what nirvana points to, a quiet, spacious ease in the heart that does not depend on everything going your way. As you imagine these teachings, picture gentle scenes, a person walking slowly along a forest path at sunrise, someone sitting at a desk and choosing to take one mindful breath before answering an email, a couple talking calmly instead of shouting, a student closing their books at a healthy hour and allowing themselves to rest. These are ordinary images, but within them is the secret of the middle way, small choices repeated over time that lead gradually toward freedom. The Buddha once said, in words preserved through the centuries, that he had discovered a path avoiding both extremes, a middle way that leads to peace, insight, and nirvana. And in the Dhammapada, we find the line, nirvana is the highest happiness, not the happiness of getting everything we want, but the happiness of a heart no longer enslaved by wanting and rejecting. If this reflection on nirvana and the middle way has brought you even a little more clarity or calm, I warmly invite you to continue walking this path with us. Please, like this video, share it with anyone who might be struggling with extremes in their life, and subscribe to Buddha's Path, learn and practice Buddhism, so that together we can spread the wisdom of the Dharma and gently nurture peace and compassion in ourselves and in the world. May each small step toward balance bring you closer to true freedom.